Good morning, prospective students. My name is Sharon Poxter. I am the chair of the Strategy and Entrepreneurship Department at YU, also associate professor. And I'm going to talk to you today a bit briefly about the Strategy and Entrepreneurship major. Let me share my slides with you. Here we go. Okay, so I'd like to first start with a quick overview of why you should choose or think about strategy and entrepreneurship as your major or minor. First of all, it's very applied. While it's strongly conceptually based, everything we do is trying to understand the context of businesses and their success. So it's a really fun and applied major for those who are interested in understanding businesses. Now let me talk a little bit about what exactly is strategy and entrepreneurship. The biggest question that strategy tries to answer is why are some firms successful and others are not? And you can see here below this amazing graph of the stock price of Blockbuster and Netflix from 2004 until 2010. And you can see this amazingly sharp decline of Blockbuster as Netflix essentially put them out of business. So, why did this happen? How did Blockbuster go through this failure? And why was Netflix successful where Blockbuster was not? Courses in strategy answer these type of questions. And the other major type of question on the entrepreneurship side is really about creating and scaling new companies when you're under resource constraints. Relative to, if you have plenty of resources, entrepreneurship really looks at the specific challenges around starting a new company where you are, by construction, constrained in terms of resources. And as an example, we study companies like Uber and try to understand why and how Uber created and sustained a competitive advantage. There are many, many courses offered in the strategy and entrepreneurship major. The two foundational courses that everyone must take are principles of strategy and principles of entrepreneurship. And then beyond that, we have a plethora of courses that are always geared to trying to the needs of students and also to help you get jobs once you leave. So we have a course in startup strategy, a course in ideation, how to come up with good new business ideas, a course on international business strategy, which essentially looks at if a company wants to scale abroad, what are the particular challenges when you're moving abroad across national boundaries. Organizational behavior looks more at within the organization, how do we kind of understand how people interact with one another in order to kind of create an environment that is productive for firm growth. Founders Dilemmas is a unique course developed by our own Dean Noam Wasserman around the particular important choices founders must make along the way from starting to scaling, and helping potential students navigate ex ante how they will get through these major decisions. We have courses in leadership. One of our leadership courses is actually taught by the former president of YU, Richard Joel, and he talks a lot about leadership in the nonprofit sector as well. Then we also have a new set of courses which are really amazing in angel finance and venture capital. So there's essentially a year-long progression that students can take. One course in the fall is angel finance and venture capital. It introduces you to the concepts and the ideas around angel finance and venture capital. And then in the spring semester, there is a course in fund formation. So two yeshiva alums, Bruce Tarragon and Moshe Bellows, put these courses together. They work in the VC world. Not only that, they created something called the Maccabee Ventures. And Maccabee Ventures is a $10 million fund that is run by these two alumni, and students actually will work directly for the fund, sourcing and completing deals between the fund and startups for financing, and also working closely with those startups as they scale. We also have a very interesting course called Innovation Lab. This course enables students to work directly with Israeli startups who have been chosen by our innovation lab to have space on the YU campus. This is an incredible opportunity for students to get hands-on experience and their foot in the door with many Israeli startups. We have courses in turnaround business strategy, how companies that are failing can actually turn themselves around. Really interesting course in negotiations, which actually simulates in each course a negotiation. Students will take either side of a negotiation and actually simulate negotiations. And we also have a course in business strategy, our capstone, which is this incredibly interesting simulation where students work in groups, making business decisions as if they are a company every week for the whole semester, and they compete globally with other teams. And this year was the first year we did this at YU, and the YU teams actually ranked in the 99th percentile globally, which was very interesting and a very big deal for YU. These are just some of the courses. There are even others that we offer as well. In terms of credit requirements, there's 27 credits required for the major, and I pulled this up from the YU website. If you look at strategy and entrepreneurship and you look at the requirements, here's what you will find. We will be updating these shortly to kind of show the newer courses that we have as well. If you have specific questions on course requirements, the advisors that are listed below, Emily Kaplan, Deborah Pine, and Melanie Zuckerman, are the right people to get in touch with on those particular questions. Here's just a couple of our faculty members. I didn't have enough space to put everyone. We have our Associate Dean, Mike Strauss, who teaches courses. Mark Finkel teaches several courses. Maria Blecker teaches the Innovation Lab. Moshe Bellows and Bruce Terragan are on the bottom here, and they're the two alums who pioneered this new track in venture capital at YU. I think it's really important to note the skills developed. When you are a strategy and entrepreneurship major, it's really developing an analytical ability, but that doesn't rest on formulas or math. Everything in strategy is kind of on a spectrum. There's no kind of wrong or right answer. It's just how you're looking at things. How are you analyzing things? It's very heavy on intuition and nuance, therefore. And we develop a lot of frameworks with which to analyze the business world and be analytical. But again, we don't rely heavily on math or formulas. In terms of outcomes, so in the past couple of years, we've actually had some students go directly to the venture capital world and become analysts in venture capital, particularly after completing this sequence of courses, which is amazing. Typically, students don't go directly from undergrad to a position at a venture capital firm as an analyst. It typically requires 5 years of business experience and or an MBA. Other common outcomes are working as a management consultant. Several of our students each year go to Accenture, E&Y, and management consultancy roles. Several of our students are taking the path of entrepreneurship. We have some students each year that are now increasingly interested in starting a company right out of YU. And then finally, also business development roles. Every large corporation has business development roles, which essentially find and analyze opportunities for the business to grow. So a strategy and entrepreneurship background would be a good background for this as well. These are just some of the many areas that our students enter into after a strategy and entrepreneurship major. If you have more information on content, on like what different classes are, around your interests, around possible career choices, please feel free to email me. My email is listed here. It's also on the website for the major. And if you have questions about course fulfillments, transferring course credits, things like that, the better people to ask those questions to would be the advisors that I listed on the course requirement slide. I want to thank you guys for letting me have these moments with you. I hope you're excited to start YU. I know it's a very strange way to start. We're doing our best to make sure that your learning experience will still be valuable. And please don't hesitate to be in touch with any questions that you might have. I hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to meeting you. Bye-bye.